Scratchers! Welcome to episode 5 of the Scratch Beginners tutorial series. Hopefully you saw my little poster here from a couple of hours ago. Then you actually had a little sneak peek of what we were going to do today. Making your own simulator game on Scratch. But before we actually get to this, I would like to give you some reminders. Please view the last episodes if you're confused on what this is, because if you haven't watched the last episodes, you really won't understand how we're continuing. I mean, I will repeat everything, but if you would like a more broader explanation that's a lot more explanatory, then you'll have to look at the last episodes. Now, if you remember, in the last 2 episodes, we fully dedicated our time to learning how the paint editor works, which was very, very interesting, of course, because now we made that little Bobby sprite. Now you guys know this. I have taught you guys this, my stuff. You guys obviously know that because I've reminded that like a million times. And as you can see, we made a little Bobby here in the last episode. But unfortunately, guys, we will have to leave our Bobby behind because we are moving on to more complicated stuff. We are moving to making our very first simulator game on Scratch. So to leave a project, click on Save Project page. You know this, you guys know this. So when you leave, you go in My Stuff, you also know this, and then you're back in your project section. Now let's go to our simulator project. Now if you're confused, like, whoa, Nami, you're going fast, what's going on? What's a simulator? Like, first of all, let me explain what a simulator is. So a simulator is basically like a game where you collect items or basically collect specific items. And then you basically have a little backpack that becomes filled with the items that you collect or you click on. So then if you have like a bag, so say this is your backpack, 0 out of 25 items, and these dots are all of the items you can collect. And this is my little tool here. This is my little tool that I have. Now this tool is slowly going to get rid of all of these dots. So whenever this dot comes here and it gets rid of 1, then that 1 dot has been collected, and then 1 gets added to this 25, and then another 1, and then it becomes 2, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then here it becomes 5, and then you get rid of all of them, and then that's 8 space used in your 25. And whenever you keep getting dots like this, and whenever it reaches 25, then there's this little cell place that I'm going to make an example of. Cell, okay, we can do that. And now whenever you go sell your 25, you get 25 coins because it has 25 capacity and you will earn 25 coins. And if it's, for example, at 17 out of 25, you will get 17 coins instead of 25, so it won't be 25 anymore. So that's how that works. But say you want to become better, you don't want to constantly get 25 coins. For that'll be a little shop. So say you have like 50 coins because you sold 2 times, and 25 plus 25 is 50. And there are some things you can buy in a shop, like so 25 for new pickaxe, for example, like a new pickaxe for mining, and then 25 new backpack. So whenever you have something like this, so first of all, your backpack had 25 out of 25 capacity. But if you'd like to mine more, then you want to increase it. So now your backpack can have 50 items in it, and you still won't be able to sell. Which means that you'll get money faster now because you don't have to keep clicking on sell. But a way to do it even faster is with your new pickaxe, because now if this pickaxe goes to like a rock and it does more, like it hits the rock more, like it does, for example, let's say 2 damage, and the first pickaxe did 1 damage, then instead of 1 coming here, there will be a 2 because it did more damage to the rock. and the rock would have some sort of like how many hits you need to give it with your pickaxe to make it break, and that would be like a 0 out of 5. And if you do 2, then it will turn into this 2 out of 5, and then 4 out of 5, and then 6 out of 5, and that would break because 6 is higher than 5. So that's what like a simulator game is. Now simulators don't have to be just stones, they can be anything. But this is what we're going to be building, because this is the type of simulator that's actually intuitive and you can learn stuff from. Now you might be asking, Navi, this is probably like one of the hardest things to code. Why are you teaching us this? We're still in the beginner tutorial series. Now, since this is the first episode of the simulator, we are not going to straight up jump to the simulator. Today, I'm just going to be teaching you how to make a basic introduction to your simulator. For example, you click on this button and you start learning, but we have to change that to start playing. I made that for the poster. And then all the brightness goes out, and then this goes away, and a new screen comes out with a new beautiful world with the grass. And then you have a shop and a sell area. Now those won't really work yet, but they will just be there, they will be there and they will appear when you start the project. And then you'll have your little scratch cat. So scratch cat will be the main character that moves around. Next episode we'll get to the moving around and making the cell places work and stuff, but for now we are just going to concentrate on making the first area. So let's click on see inside. It's very important, you guys probably already know this. So we have our little sprites here. I prepared this beforehand, and the reason I prepared this beforehand is because I last episode I taught you guys that you can use the paint editor to design stuff easily, but I didn't teach you guys that you can actually do the same thing with backdrops. So to make a backdrop paint editor just like this, a backdrop is basically a background. If you want to draw mountains in the background and stuff, you just hover over this little square in the corner here. So if your mouse is over here, you drag it to this little square section over here and you click on it. Then you see many like choose a backdrop, paint, Sprites, and upload backdrop. And here you just click on paint, and then as you can see, you can make your own backdrop. So that means that this will be the background. So if I convert to bitmap, you guys remember this, you can only fill the background if you're in bitmap. You can't do it in vector. Bitmap is basically like a pixelated world, and vector is like a striped world. That's a lot more beautiful. So let's convert to bitmap real quick and set the background to this. And as you can see, that's now the background. So that's how that works. It's a very simple system and it's very easy to understand. But since you already have a backdrop, this one that I made, you don't actually need to learn anything new. It's already very self-explanatory. But I made this poster just so I can give you guys a sneak peek. Right now, I just want to show you guys how to make a simulator, which means that we'll have to change this title so that it says rock mining simulator, because we are making a rock mining simulator, and whenever the player comes and there is making your own simulator game on scratch, that won't make sense. So let's just change this. If you guys remember how to change stuff, we learned this in episode 3, I think. You grab this little mouse tool and you click on your text, but unfortunately I think I grouped this, so this is actually going to be pretty hard. Maybe it will work if okay, wait. Okay, so actually this won't work if we do it the way we're doing now. We will actually have to create a new backdrop, but that's not a problem, because I can actually just draw this over again, since it just, the thing is though, it's immediately redirecting me here, which it really shouldn't be doing that. Let me just try. Wait. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but Scratch is doing a really weird bug that immediately asks me to go to the library. Meanwhile, I should really just be able to paint one as well. Why can't I create? I'm going to do it this way, okay? I'm going to get rid of this. I clicked on the backspace key, by the way. That's how it went away. And then I get the same color I had, exactly not the same because that will be a little hard. And then we do this, and then we have covered those ends. Actually, I want to make it, okay, good, that's already a bit better. And then we bring back to our text tool, and then we select a good handwriting, like, yeah, handwriting, that's the best font. So whenever you click on that, your text will look like whatever here it says here. So handwriting, and then you write here rock. Oh yeah, I forgot to change the color. Let me make that black. Okay, rock mining simulator, a game by Nami. But you don't have to put Nami here, okay? You can put your nickname or your Scratch username. Don't share your real name on Scratch, guys. That's very important. I said this to you guys in the first episode. Don't share any personal information, just your online nickname or username. And then we can put some little text here, like you know, long. I'm just gonna put Longarms Creations Presents. Of course, you don't have to do this. You can just put something like for example, your username and then Studios Presents. That's like you're a movie presenter. Of course, this might sound stupid, but it's actually like a very cool idea to make it seem like your project is professional. Anyways, as you can see, we have a little text here: Rock Mining Simulator, a game by Nami. Longarms Creations Presents. Okay, we have a little screen now in which you can see how it works and everything. Now we have the stay tuned text here, and I made that for a poster, of course, because I wanted to make like a little stay tuned sign. So let's actually go and edit the paint editor here again. Go to costumes here in the corner. By the way, if you feel like we're going way too fast, I'm just going to give a brief reminder. Like, this is like the paint editor, so whenever you're in the code section, you can drag your mouse over here to the costume section, and then you will be able to edit your sprite. You might be asking, how should we know how this works? You should have looked at the last two episodes, because I taught you guys how to do it in the last two. It's really very simple. It seems very hard. Only these above buttons, they were a little hard because these buttons are a little glitchy, but for the rest it's pretty easy. And you know, if you look at the last two episodes, you'll automatically be an expert. Anyways, let's change this text. Let's just keep moving on. We don't have to waste our time talking like that. So stay tuned. We can change that. We can get rid of this because, you know, and then we can change this text to something like, yeah, make sure to love and favorite. And then you can put that there, and then you can wait, you know what, no, just keep it like this, because okay, then we can zoom out, and then you put somewhere like this: make sure to love and favorite, and follow me for more. Now I am probably not going to include this in my end project because I really don't want to get followers, but I don't want to get followers on this account, at least. So I will probably get rid of this, but you guys should add this, because if you wanna get popular on Scratch, then you have to do stuff like that so people get excited to view your next projects. Like, this first screen is very professional, and people might think that you're like really a professional maker. So you have this follow me for more, and then make sure to like and favorite. And we actually have to make that appear there. So first of all, if you guys remember how X and Y works, I also taught you guys that I think in the second episode. I can't really remember, but let's just get 0 and 0 so that our text comes in the middle. There we go. That's exactly what we want. And then we drag it over here. Of course, we'll have to make the size a little lower. We'll set it to like 40, because the way it is, okay, yeah, that's way too small. We'll set it to something like 65. Okay, yeah, that seems right. Then we'll drag that here to the corner and place that there. Just a little promo, you know, just to make it a little clean. You can put it anywhere you want. I would personally put it here. And let's just actually edit the code real quick, because I feel like this follow me for more should be more aligned this side. Okay, good. Now it's more correct. We just got to move it a little more to the left because it really didn't look good that way. And as you can see, now it will look perfect whenever we put it here. See, now it's perfect and we have a little project here. And we can also change this to promo text so you really know what's going on, just a little promo. And then you can click on your button sprite and then you can change the text there to play the game or play the game so that people know that whenever they click on the button, the game will start. So now that we're done with all of the designing, let's actually get to the whole coding part. In the coding, we'll actually be going over how to, whenever you click on the project, there'll be effects moving on to the next screen, and then you'll be able to see like a little place where your sell area and your shop area is and your scratch cat. Very, very simple. Now, let's actually check some things first. Let's see if Scratch has a shop. No, it doesn't. Let's look for store then. The reason I'm doing this is because if there's a built-in thing in Scratch for finding buildings, then that's actually going to be very, very helpful. Now, I do remember there being a building sprite, which was going to help us. Aha! There we go. Now we have a building sprite. So you can see we have many buildings here. We're going to have to duplicate that because we're going to need 2 of these buildings for the sell area and the store area. So I am actually going to make both of them invisible for now by clicking on this little button here. And now everything is gone because we made them invisible because we'll only need these buildings when the game starts and when we're making the shop and sell area. So let's get on to the code, the moment you've all been waiting for. So if you guys don't know what we just did, let me just give you a quick reminder. We clicked on the backdrop section. We made a new backdrop. Basically, let's delete this one. We made this very cool backdrop with Rock Mining Simulator, a game by Nami Longarms Creations presents. It's really not that hard. You just gotta... You just have to click here and then write the code above here to select the line tool and then make a line here, and then you have your backdrop ready. Let's go back to code, and then when you're in button, it's also very simple. You have this little square, play the game, and for that, let's go to costumes again, and then you have this little button saying play the game. It's very easy. Now I don't wrote this line there, so I'll get rid of that. Okay, what just happened? Okay, good, it's gone now. Anyways, the first code that we have to do is brightness effects and broadcasting. Now you might be thinking, what's that? I've never heard of those words in my entire life. That's mainly what we're going to be going over today. So let's go to the looks category real quick. Over here, just a little purple one, and you click there. And then you have this little change color effect by 25 blocks. You have set color effect to 0, clear, graphic effects, and these 3. We're going to be, so you want to click on this little colored thing here, the drop down, and then you'll see this brightness category here. And we're going to be going over this brightness category today. But we're also going to be going over broadcasting. When I receive message 1, broadcast message 1, broadcast message 1, and wait. This is what these mean, So we're going to be talking about these broadcasts, and we're also going to be talking about the brightness effect. So jumping right into it, we're not going to waste any more time. We want the game to start whenever someone clicks on play the game. Now you might be asking, well, I have no idea how to make something run when I click on something. Well, we've actually not used this block, but we've seen it in one of our last episodes. So you have this little event place here, just where we were for the broadcast. There, you have this little code saying when this sprite clicked, and you also have when green flag clicked. Now you might be asking, Nami, put the when green flag in first because otherwise your project won't work. No, because you have to do when the sprite clicked. But we'll also need when green flag clicked because afterwards we're going to be hiding this button because we don't want to see it anymore. And then you want and then you want it to come back whenever the project starts, because if it remains hidden the whole time, then the game won't work anymore. So how to fix this is, you'll understand what I mean later on in this video. Drag in your when green flag clicked, you guys know how to do this, and then click on looks, and then look for the show thing, and the show will basically show your sprite here, so immediately it will get shown. And let's drag this hide block to the normal area, and when you click on hide, your block gets hidden, and when you click on show, it gets showed, and your button is going to get hidden later on in this video or project, because whenever you click on it, it has to go away, because you're moving to a new screen with a brand new world, and you don't want it to remain hidden whenever you start the project again. So that's why we're making this little simple when green flag clicked show here. And now we can get rid of hide, because we don't really need that. We only need that in the future. Then we can go back to events, and then you have this little when this sprite clicked block here. Now what does this do? Every code below this little when the sprite clicked, just like all the code under when green flag clicked, will run whenever you click on your sprite. So let's just drag that over here real quick. Now when the sprite clicked, it's just like the sandwich store example that we did. This is like the boss and all the customers on is like the customers, like the player clicking on the boss, like being angry at the boss because they haven't gotten their sandwiches yet. That's the player. And then the boss tells the people below him, which are necessarily the blocks, and then they say like, come on, do your work, and then it starts. So the boss basically waits until like the player or customer wants something, and then the boss tells the below blocks to run. So basically whenever we click here, something should happen, but we don't know what yet. The boss is now calling his workers, but we don't know what the workers have to do yet. We still have to code that. So, play the game. Let's click. So, how this have to run is, first of all, we need to use a broadcast for this, because whenever we click here, how should we make sure that the backdrop changes? We can't change our backdrop from here, and if you want to change the brightness of the backdrop, you also can't do that from here. You can't change the brightness of another sprite or backdrop from this sprite, understand? So you have a friend and he's lost. Then for example, you can't go and you can just go to him and find the direction to home for him, because maybe you know the direction to home better than he does. So you can't do that to him. You cannot control him to make sure he's in safe hands. You can't do that. So you'll have to do something so that you can control the backdrop so that its brightness changes, which is where broadcast comes in. So whenever you click on when this sprite click, we want the brightness of this to go down and the backdrop too. And let's click on events again. And as you can see, we have this little broadcast message block here. Now, let's just drag this in real quick. Broadcasting basically broadcasts a specific message to the other, it broadcasts a specific message to other sprites. So for example, let's just connect this broadcast message 1 to when the sprite clicked. So we have it connected here. Now let's go to our promo text, just as an example. And then we can do when I receive message 1. So let's click on button again. Here it has sent the message 1. And in promo text, it has received the message 1. So whenever it receives it, so basically the boss tells his workers to do something, but the worker has to spread a message to other workers. And whenever that worker spreads a message to other workers, then the other sprites collects that like a shout, and then it starts doing its work. For example, we'll hide our we'll hide our little promo text by going over to hide, dragging it in. And as you can see, whenever we store this and we click on the button, did you see that? It got hidden because we did it in the button that whenever the sprite gets clicked, it sends a message to promo text, and whenever promo text gets that message, it hides itself. And you can't hide other sprites without broadcast, because how are you supposed to change the value of another sprite? Which is where this broadcast message 1 is very, very helpful. And of course, we'll also have to, we really also need to put this in all of the areas. And we also have to do a lot of stuff now. So for example, we have this here. We have to put this exact code in promo text as well, because promo text is also going to have to show at the beginning and it's going to hide later on. So let's make it visible again, and promo text is back, and when it's clicked, it basically has to show, and which is how we want it to happen. And then we also want the brightness effects to change, which is what we're going to get to now. This one will now get hidden whenever whenever this gets clicked, and that's because this one is already black, and therefore we don't need to do anything special about that, because the whole screen is going to be changing black and then becoming light again into a brand new world. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the looks category. We're going to go back to button. We're going to go to looks, and then you have these little categories here. Let's go down to change brightness effect, and let's actually grab this clear graphic effects and put that up the show button. Now why I'm doing is show block. Now why I'm doing this is because clear graphic effects basically is so for example, let's add a comment here. Now whenever you change your color effect by 25, now let's actually drag that in and then click on it. As you can see, the color of our sprite changed to green, and we can just infinitely click on this and it will change to a new color. Now you might be asking, Nami, how do I make mine normal again? I don't know. Which is where clear graphic effects comes in. It gets rid of all of the effects that has been put. So whenever you click here, as you can see, our sprite is normal again. Which is why we'll need that, because the brightness gets low every time you click on the button. And whenever you start the project again, you want the graphic effects to stop and get it normal again. But we're not going to be changing the color. We're going to be changing the brightness, which is exactly what we're going to do now. So let's drag change brightness effect here. And we'll select brightness here. And then we'll change it. And then we'll do 100. But whoa, what happened there? Because it became suddenly white. Now I'm going to explain to you how to fix that. Brightness, it will become white, okay? If you want it to be completely dark, then you have to do -100, which is exactly the way to fix it. So we'll type in -100 now. And let's click here, and as you can see, it's completely black now. And you might be asking, why do we need it to become black? Because everything is going to become black. But I don't think anybody likes the way it just randomly becomes black. We want it to slowly fade in. So we learned this. Go to control. I think you guys remember the repeat block. We learned that in our very first episode. Any code inside of the repeat one will run slowly, and it will run it the amount of times that's put here. So let's change this to 100 real quick. And let's get this change brightness effect by -100 and put it here, and change -100 to -1. And then we'll attach this repeat 100 to this code. And then whenever we start this, let's click clear graphic effect, and as you can see, it's slowly fading in. But the thing is, we'll have to do that again, because now the problem is it was already kind of dark. If we do it now, as you can see, it's fully faded in and it became very slow. So let's clear graphic effects again, and that's a very beautiful fade in. So that's how that works. And now what we have to do is we have to do the same with the backdrop. So how are we going to make it identify it? So we've sent this broadcast message 1, and your backdrop is also going to receive that, And whenever it knows that the broadcast has been sent, it's also going to change its brightness effect by -1 with this repeat 100 code. So let's go click on our backdrop real quick. And then we'll have to do a little code here too. When clicked. Now I just realized actually, we're not going to be able to actually bring in the cell and shop areas immediately. We're only going to bring in a brand new world to make it a little beautiful. Now let's actually bring in that brand new world from the backdrop section so that we've already known what we have to do. So choose a backdrop. Now I'm looking for a perfect one, a very beautiful area. It's very beautiful and a nice place to be. Not the woods, for sure, not the woods. Yeah, I'm going to choose forest because this actually seems like a little naturistic area, and then we can put our shop and sell areas here. Am I asking why are you going to put a shop and sell area in a forest? Okay, yeah, we'll have to choose a new one because of that. Okay, now I want a city type area. Oh no, not this again. If you guys looked at my last episode, you know that we have problems with this bug. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be doing anything good this episode as well. But I feel like that will do some good. Okay, this is actually not. Okay, wait, I have an idea. Let me just. Wait. Oh wait, can we do this? No, wait, that's for the code, right? I need it to work. Oh my god. Okay, wait, I have an idea. But why is it not working right now? Wait guys, I can find a fix to this. Yeah, okay, now it's good again. No worries, no worries. Now it's good again. Let's click on see inside. Let's click on see inside. And then we have a little play the game button here. Let's make our backdrop normal again. Click on backdrops. Click here. Make it forest. No, not forest. Make it just blue sky. And then we can go back. No, now we actually want it to be rock mining simulator. Now let's go back here and make this visible again. Show and now we can actually do the message thing. So let's go to the backdrops. When clicked, switch backdrop to backdrop 1 because when the game starts you actually want it to be the first backdrop and not the blue sky. But the thing is, Scratch is being very glitchy right now. I have no idea why. Okay, so switch backdrop to backdrop 3. Let's do a little speed run here, guys. I will explain everything to you guys, which will also very clearly, but will also be going super fast. So let's go to so the thing is, now we have this, so we have to do the same code. Go to control. You guys know what to repeat does. Any code inside of this repeat will run the amount of times that's been put here. So we can set this to 100, and then we can drag this 100 over to here. And then we can click on looks, and then we have our little change effect by minus thing. So if we set it to brightness and we set the effect by to -1 and we insert it there, then it will go -1 100 times. So then it will also change. But then we wanted to change to blue sky, and then we want it to become normal again. So we do switch backdrop to blue sky so that it changes when everything is black. You won't be able to see the blue sky at all. But then you do the same thing. Go to control, drag in your repeat 10, and then you change that to 100. Any code inside of here would run a specific amount of times. You guys know that. And then you go to looks, and then change brightness effect by -1. Now what does this code do? Any code inside of this repeat 100, any code in here, you guys don't have to write these comments. I'm just doing this so you guys understand. Runs 100 runs the amount of times written. So this will actually run 100 times because it's been written, because we just wrote here that we want it to run 100 times. Very, very simple. And then you go click on repeat 100 and then you do add comment, and then the same thing happens there, so we don't actually need this comment. And then we could do add comment switches backdrop, make that small, and then we get this. And then we set that to changes brightness by -100 times, and it changes like that 100 times because this repeat code runs 100 times. And now you know what all of these blocks do. It's very simple, really. So we can get rid of these comments now. And now if you see, oh yeah, okay, so we made a little mistake. We should drag this code away. It should switch to backdrop tree at the beginning, alright, but we have to do it when we receive the message. So when we go to events, we can do when I receive message 1, and then it will work, because we don't want the brightness to go away immediately. We only want it to happen when the button is clicked, when the message has been sent. And if we do it now and we click on play the game, as you can see, it's going away. But I see that this actually doesn't. Okay, I get it now. We don't actually have to get rid of this promo text. We should like get rid of it when the backdrop switches to like the blue sky. So when backdrop switches to blue sky, if you guys know, it's probably very explanatory. Any code under here will run whenever the backdrop changes. So you can click on looks, and when backdrop switches to backdrop tree, then you can actually do hide, because then we don't want it anymore. And now normally that should work perfectly fine. Oh wait, what? It should normally show up. It's saying backdrop 3. That's why it's supposed to be blue sky. I'm messing up a lot today. Okay, clean up, and we click here. And you click on play the game. And then as you can see, everything goes away slowly. And this doesn't just randomly disappear. And now it's like a beautiful screen. But now let's click on backdrops again. We want this to come up whenever we want this to become good again, not just go away. So let's change that to 1 instead of -1, so that the brightness slowly comes back. And if we click on the green flag now, and we click on play the game, the brightness slowly fades away, and then it slowly pops up again. But I see we have not hidden our button yet, so it needs to get hidden actually. So we can go and get our hide thing here and attach it to the end, so that it gets hidden when the brightness is 0. So now if you click the green flag, that bug shouldn't happen. Click on play the game. Oh no, it's not in the way where it should be. And now we come up, and as you guys can see, we have a beautiful little area here. It's a very nice and clean area. And I think it's very easy what we're going to do now. We're just going to do the same things for buildings and buildings too, but they're going to slowly appear now every time the game starts. So let me go to backdrops too, and I'm going to add clear graphic effects here so that it's not like completely black when I start the project. I'll insert that in. And then promo text and button, we have these. And then we have this little buildings and buildings 2 areas here. And we want them to show up slowly and fade out along with all of these. So we'll click on events. When clicked, they should remain hidden. They shouldn't be in the first area. Click on looks, and then you scroll down to hide. You attach that there. If you feel like we're going too fast, you can always just if you feel like we're going a little too fast, I'm very sorry. If you have any questions, please ask me in Facebook comments, okay? I see many people looking at my videos, but no one actually asks any questions. So if anyone has any questions, please ask. And now I'm going to insert this there. And now we have this when green flag clicked hide here. And then we have these little two guys here. And then, and then whenever the backdrop changes, when backdrop switches to the blue sky, then they should, to change the backdrop, you basically have to click on a drop down and change it to blue sky. And whenever the backdrop switches to blue sky, you want them to fade along with it. So go to looks, and there's this little set color effect too, and that will basically set your brightness effect to something. So let's click here, set that to brightness, and this will basically set your brightness to a value, and it won't change it slowly. So we can set that to -100 so that it's already pretty low when we start, which is exactly what we want. And then you attach that here, set brightness effect to -100, and then you go to control. You guys know this already. Repeat 100. Go to looks, change brightness effect by 1. And now we just have to get that code and put it in buildings 2 as well. Very easy. But I see it's actually not there, so that must be a bug. Let me just insert it there, and it should for sure be there. Okay, nice. We've done it. We've done the first part of our simulator game. Let's click on the green flag and see if everything works, just to make sure nothing is broken. We click on play the game. And as you can see, we have a little rock mining simulator text here. And then everything slowly pops up, but I see... we haven't shown our buildings yet. How did I manage to forget that? Okay, so I have to go to our buildings, get in a show block, attach that there. Also, why is there... Oh my god, there's 2 codes here. How did that manage to happen? We don't want that. Okay, so let's get a show and put that here. Then we'll go to the other sprite and we'll also get a show and put that above here. So now if we start, it should normally work. For sure it should work. Play the game, Rock Mining Simulator, a game by Nami. And as you can see, we have our little buildings. You might be asking, Nami, these look very out of place here. We'll be discussing that in the next episode. We'll be making them go in the right places. We'll be making some good buildings. And the next episode will basically improve our game overall. But now it works, guys. Look at how much code you've written. The button code, the promo text code, the buildings code, the buildings 2 code, and then this backdrop code. You've done a lot today. So just a quick reminder of what we did today. We basically designed a little backdrop. We made all of these buttons. We chose a new building and we made the code for this. Here basically when the green flag clicks, we get rid of all the graphic effects so that the whole thing isn't black and that we don't shut off the project black. And then we show our button so that it's actually there. And then whenever this button gets clicked, we broadcast a message to the other items that they should also start changing their brightness. And then this one changes its brightness by 100 and then it hides itself so that it isn't there in the next backdrop. And then the promo text just hides itself whenever the backdrop switches to blue sky, because it's already black and it doesn't have to do any fading in or fading out anymore. And then the buildings basically waits until the backdrop changes to blue sky, and then it sets its brightness to -100, the lowest brightness there can be, and then it changes it by 100 so that it's like coming in and very beautiful fading. And the same thing basically happens with buildings 2 and backdrops. Most importantly, clear graphic effects here as well. Switch backdrop to backdrop 3 so that it's the first backdrop. And then when I receive message 1, the message that button set, repeat 100, change brightness by effect by -1 so that its brightness goes down. And then whenever the backdrop changes to the blue sky, it's still completely black, so we have to change the brightness again so that it's normal again. And after all that code, we've only done a simple fading in code and a fading out code. And now let's look at this like a movie, at all of the hard work we've done. Let's click here, and then you click here, and then we have this Rock Mining Simulator, game by Nami, Longarms Creations presents. Follow me for more. Make sure to love and favorite. And you click on play the game. We have this beautiful brightness going out, and then the brightness comes in, and we have a little shop and sell area. We'll make this all work. We'll have a scratch cat come in, and we'll do everything in the next episode. And then this simulator thing is going to go on for a while, guys. So you're going to be very excited, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you feel like I went a little too fast, if you have a couple of questions, please ask me in Facebook comments, because if you don't understand a single thing, you might not understand anything at all in the next episodes. And if you want to learn Scratch, you have to understand everything. And additionally, please like and subscribe. And I'm not telling you to like and subscribe for my own good. I'm saying this, sorry, I have a little cold. So if you like the video, then my video basically gets mixed in the algorithm, and people who like programming will see this video and their dream will get fulfilled. So if someone likes to program and they see these videos, and then they'll be like, oh yay, I finally found a platform where I can program for free without any worries, and then maybe they'll be the happiest person because they found out exactly what they wanted. So like the video so that more people can get their dream fulfilled. If you want to make games like Minecraft, Roblox, or Fortnite, and you want to make like a super famous game, this is your first step. You can't immediately go crazy. You have to start from the basics, but trust me, starting from the basics is the best way to start. Many people, even me included, get mad because I want to immediately become the best. I want to skip the basics, but that's not good, because you also have to learn the basics, because if you're already a pro and you don't know the basics, then you basically don't even know how to code properly. You need to start basically, and only then can you become better and better. So anyways, hopefully you learned something from this video, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Please make sure to like and subscribe, every Saturday new Scratch tutorials, and every Thursday new stories and timer, and a lot of videos are coming soon, guys. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and it's us programmers.